academia.edu, and I'm so glad you're here today because, wow, do we have an unusual and fascinating paper lined up. It's called Interface Witnessing, Psionic Disclosure, and the CODEXCHAIN Protocol. The author is G. Little, who you might also know as Parkle, the founder of CODEXCHAIN. This one dives deep, truly deep, into some territory that's, well, definitely not your average academic reading list. As always, my role is just to present the paper as it is. I'm not endorsing these ideas, just exploring them with you and, thinking about what they might mean for us as curious people in this vast and mysterious world. So what's the core question here? The big idea at the heart of David Little's work is essentially this. How can experiences of psionics, think telepathy, consciousness-based communication, astral travel, even alien contact, be systematized? Can they be reframed not as wild stories, but as a kind of planetary curriculum and drumroll? Could we create protocols that turn these experiences into something not just valid, but useful at a societal level? It's a huge question and a controversial one, but honestly, it's significant if we care at all about the boundaries between science, spirituality, technology, and how they all influence the future of, well, human knowledge. Now, why does this matter? I mean, for most of us, psionics still sits out on the fringe, right? But Little's paper is saying, what if that's a mistake? What if these personal, consciousness-based experiences are actually crucial? What if, wild as it sounds, they're the hidden interface to the next phase of our technological and ethical development? Whether or not you buy it, the underlying message is maybe it's time to rethink our categories, our skepticism, even our approach to what counts as knowable. All right, let's talk methods and arguments because that's where things get interesting. The paper is anchored in something called Scroll 9, which, I'll admit, sounds a bit like a board game my cousin would have invented growing up, but it's actually a capsule or genre of research developed by CODEXCHAIN. This platform wants to archive and standardize conscious, non-physical experiences, almost like academic peer review for things most people think of as unprovable or anecdotal. I mean, how do you peer review an astral trip? But that's the ambition here. David Little draws heavily on his own experiences. These are direct links, not just theories. There's mention of live stream transmissions, which, yes, really happened. December 2023, if you want to dig into the chronology. He then codifies these transmissions into what he calls planetary curriculum nodes, which is a snazzy way of saying, let's make these wild experiences into building blocks for a shared learning framework. It's a bit like when schools adopted internet literacy, suddenly something fringe became standard curriculum. Could psionics follow that path? So one of the key contributions of this paper is something called the Applied Awakening Protocol, AAP for short. AP, according to Little, supersedes all former contact protocols for non-human intelligence, ETs, higher consciousness entities, you name it, where older frameworks like those from Greer and Barber, both referenced here, focused on summoning or channeling. Little's method wants to sequence and codify. No speculation, just scrolls, just records, just systematized witnessing, and everything is scroll backed. If you're into official stamps of academic approval, scrolls are the CODEXCHAIN answer, apparently. But here's where we get to tangible takeaways for you. What does any of this mean for listeners? First, Little is asking all of us to rethink what counts as real or valid. Maybe first-hand experience and transmission are worth more respect in the academic world. Second, there's this intriguing move to make contact not about spectacle or entertainment, but about stewardship and curriculum. It's a reframing. Every encounter, every instance of so-called interface witnessing is material for collective learning and ethical stewardship. That's a takeaway anyone can ponder, even outside, the halls of academia. Little sets out this genre 4 manifesto, honoring past pioneers, pushing for juridically sound protocols, and positioning psionics as foundational. Big claims, but again, my job here isn't to argue for or against. I'm just walking you through what's on offer. Oh, and side note, do you remember those choose your own adventure books? I used to read them non-stop as a kid, always ending up in the quicksand or something. It makes me think, what would the adventure in psionics be like if we actually put it in curriculum form? just, random thought to wrap up. No single academic paper holds the full truth, especially on topics as out there as psionic disclosure. But Little's work is a reminder that the boundaries of science are constantly shifting. Maybe, just maybe, there's value in witnessing, even if just as a record, a challenge, a question planted in our collective imagination. Thanks for being here on In Depth with Academia. As always, keep your minds open, your skepticism sharp, and remember, every paper, no matter how unusual, is just an invitation to think a little different.